So this is our new offering. It's our Phantom. There's a couple of things that you'll notice in the Phantom that are different from what we've offered in the past. Primarily, one of the very first things you'll notice is the shape of it. If you were to lay our Manus on a flat surface, it lays flat. And the top belt on the Manus is generally straight, and then all of our shaping comes from the bottom belt. In the Phantom, what we did is we put a curve to both the top and the bottom.
Gotcha.
And by doing that, it forces the fabric into a natural bell shape. So it's got a natural cup to it, so it'll actually conform to your body a little bit better. So that's one of the first things that we did, is create this natural seat that helps prevent the saddle from riding up. It gives you more comfort. It kind of cradles your body a little bit. The next thing that we did is, everybody knows the adjustable bridge is the best way to go. We just had to find out the best way to make an adjustable bridge. And in our opinion, our utility bridge is the way to do it. What we ended up doing is, traditionally, Amsteel doesn't have a core to it. So when it gets pulled tight, there's no squish to it. There's nothing to kind of grab onto. What we did is, in our bridging, our splicing process, we ran the tail of the splice all the way through the entire bridge. So instead of coming up here and stopping, this piece here actually comes all the way through the knot and right out the back end of the bridge here. And what that does is it provides a core that our Prusik knot then has something to swish to. So you've got that, and it gives you a more tactile feeling because it's kind of a nice knot to grab onto. If you try and do this without the core in both your Prusik and in your bridge, and you put some weight on that, it's going to cinch down like a rock, and it's hard to adjust, it's hard to move. Yes, it will hold, yes, it'll do some things, but it's just not as nice, and eventually it will slip because Amsteel, when it gets pulled really tight, gets slippery and doesn't have that squish factor. So this is our solution for how to tackle, you know, the negative aspects of Amsteel and still have all the positives.
Absolutely.
So that was kind of what we did to kind of make a better bridge, you know, our better mousetrap, if you will.
Kind of ingenious.
So the next thing we did, you'll notice where the bridge attaches, you'll feel these nubs. And what those are, we call them our comfort channels. And when you're putting weight into the saddle, the bridge, it will actually lock in. And so you can put this in one of 3 different places, our high, medium, and low setting. And what that does is it changes the tilt of the saddle. And so if you want to have more of your body weight on the bottom strap, you would move this down to the bottom location. If you want more weight on the top strap, then so you're feeling it more across the top of your hips, you'd put it high. Or if you want the middle of the road, nice comfy setting, that's where I run it, is right in the middle. But this allows you to fine tune how much pressure you have where in your seating. What ultimately happens when you have hip pinch or anything like that is you've got weight from one of these straps is pushing on a place you don't like. By having these comfort channels, I can take weight off of this strap and put it on this one, or vice versa, and be able to really fine tune that comfort. And it's significant. You can feel the difference.
Does it matter if you're a leaner or sitter?
No, because it actually helps for both situations. Maybe you want to, if you're more of a sitter, you're going to probably want more of that weight in the bottom and less in the back. And if you're more of a leaner, you may want it up a little higher because you're kind of leaning into it. So it's made to be able to fine tune to each individual user. Our lineman loops are different.
I see that.
So in well, they're big, I mean, you can put your fist through there. They're real stiff. They're nice to grab onto. They're easy to find. But also, one thing that we did with this saddle is the lineman loops used to come up here, come around back into itself and up. And so your lineman loop was all on the top belt. So when you would lean back as you're climbing up your sticks or you're setting up your tree, all of that weight is again on 1 inch across the top of your back. By doing this continuous loop all the way around, so it's basically one piece of webbing all the way, when you lean into it, now your weight is displaced across 2 pieces of webbing and the mesh. So it actually doesn't give you that hot spot when you're leaning into it, and you've got a little more comfort to work into. And so that, again, just makes a more comfortable experience for people. And like you had mentioned, it's nice and stiff. You can clip a carabiner right into it.
I like that.
The final thing that is different that you'll notice is our leg loop attachments. So on the Mantis, most of the leg loop attachments were up on the belt.
Yep.
Well, two things happened when it was up there. For guys that are, packing a little more weight, it's hard to find. It's like, where is that loop? It's like, you can't find it, whatever, and it's the same color. So it made it a little bit more difficult to find. And what we did is we moved it now so it's down here, and this is a prototype, so it's not the orange metal.
Okay.
It's very easy to see, it's right here handy, and it's not tucked up under your shirt, it's not hard to find, and then by making it this safety orange, it's really easy to identify. So when you've got it on, that loop is right there and ready to go.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a lot of little changes, but it makes a huge difference, right? I mean, when you put all of these little features together, it ends up being much more comfortable and much more user-friendly. And especially for somebody who's maybe just getting into saddle hunting, we had some people that did some reviews on the Mantis, and they called it a varsity saddle. And what they meant by that was, if you are just getting into saddle hunting, you may have to really play and learn to find how to make it comfortable for you. And with the Phantom, we've shortened that learning curve to almost instantaneous. You get in it, a couple of adjustments, you're like, yeah, I can do this. And so it makes it a lot easier for the new guys to figure out. But the rest of us like the comfort too, right? I mean, I've been hunting out of a saddle for a lot of years, and I really enjoy the way this fits and works. In fact, all of the deer I shot last year were out of a prototype. The one I'm wearing here, that's why it's different colors, and we were still testing some stuff out at that time. So,
that's awesome.
So yeah, that's the gist of it. I mean, let's pop one on and see what you think.
Give it a try.
All right, let me hang this up. You won't have to adjust much of this other than the first time, because you can adjust this quite a ways back. The belt buckle doesn't have to stay in the middle, but we've also included all of these elastic keepers to kind of keep your tails cleaner.
Okay.
All their boots are 50%.
Isn't that easy?
Super easy.
I run them a little loose. They're basically there so that in case you slip off your platform, it keeps that saddle where it needs to be. They're not supposed to be load bearing when you load, because all of that weight gets carried by the seat belt. It's more just to keep everything in place.
I've seen the name.
About there. And what I'm going to show you is
Are you? Okay.
just the foot right here. Yep, and just kind of lean back and bring your knees a little.
Ernie and Greg came to show this out.
That'll pull a little bit higher on your top here. I mean, this is almost flat, right?
Sure I don't put too
All right, so go ahead and lean forward again. And I want to show you how big of a difference just this little move makes. All right, now sit.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
Isn't that crazy?
That's huge. Yeah, that's a big difference.
And then hop up one more time and I'll show you. This is where I run mine, just because it's, for me, the most comfortable, and it's right there. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Middle of the road, right?
Middle of the road. That's the best place on there to have it, and that's the place that keeps everything from adjusting, and getting out of the way the best.
That's awesome. It feels really good.
But kind of
just have it on camera.
Yeah.
Camera.
So throw their arms up in there. Yep. Isn't that slick?
I got to tie the rusted knots.
Yep.
Clip in.
I hated those things. I had to get rid of them. And then I'll cross my arms across here and just kind of lean into it. And that's where I sit. That's how I spend most of my time.
That's super comfortable.
Yeah. It's tough to beat.
That's nice.
And this is super easy. If you don't like it, you think it's going to get in your way, you can simply do that and it's out of the way. The other thing you can do is run one of these on here like so. And if you come to a time you need this out of the way, just pull it down. So you go ahead and put weight in it and just pull it down and it'll stay out of the way. You can have your bowstring come up through the triangle if you're concerned with it getting in the way.
Well, I missed one last year from my bowstring hit my bridge.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's
So
awesome.
the thing with that is you want to try and instead of, go ahead and grab your bow here, and let's say you're going to shoot right here, instead of turning your body so your bowstring gets in the way, rotate just a touch, and now your bowstring isn't going to be in the way. If you can keep your arm 90 degrees to your line, you're never going to have any bowstring contact. It's when you try and get like this that's when you end up getting tied up.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I appreciate you joining me today. Hope you guys are doing well. We'll see you.